Hi everyone, and welcome back for another episode to Gloucester Canary Australia. This is Season 3, Episode 10, and it is the final episode for the Gloucester Canary Australia, and it's the 50th episode as well. I have joining me Chris P. We're going to go for a road trip to visit the legend Maurie Hunt.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Same here. All right, guys, sit back and I hope you enjoy this episode. All right, guys, we're here for a home visit to the legend Maurie Hunt. Maurie, how you going?
Very well, thank you.
That's good, mate. That's good. So, how's everything in the bird room, mate?
It's been very good this year. I've bred over 80 Gloucesters. We had success at one show at Bix with a consort. I don't show borders and I don't show Yorkshires, but I breed them. But my main breed to show is Gloucesters. And I'm in partnership in the Gloucesters with David Daff.
Yep, that's right. We mentioned that at the last episode.
Yeah.
So Maurie is in partners with David Daff. So for what I understand, that Maurie, he's the one that does most of the bird keeping, and David takes care of showing the birds. But when it comes to putting the birds together, they work together on it. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Oh, that's great.
Because David was one of the best judges around, but he doesn't judge anymore because he never gets asked. But he doesn't believe in having two judges at the Gloucester show or any show. He reckon one judge can judge all the Gloucesters, open and novice. But now they're starting to get a few more in there.
Yep.
It may be a bit different.
Yep. Well, that's a thing. So, look, for me, like some people may agree with that, some people may disagree. I think personally, if you've got one judge for one type of a bird, I think it should just be one judge. That's my opinion.
My big bugbear with two judges is the open judge judges novice a lot.
Yes.
Now, I don't believe if you're showing birds, you should judge.
Yep.
If you're a judge, you shouldn't show birds that day.
Yep, I agree.
Now, if you're an open judge and you're going to judge open, fine. If you're an open judge and you're judging novice, you shouldn't put open birds in.
Yep.
That's my opinion only.
I totally agree with that. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, I'm all new to this, but sounds about right.
That's good.
Can I say what I want to say?
You can say whatever you like, Maurie.
Because I believe some judges may put up an inferior novice bird if they've got birds in open. so they can win the main show. You know, the best bird in the show.
Yep.
Now, I've been around a long time and I've seen it done. Not so much in Glossers, but in other breeds.
Yep. So, Maurie, so how long have you been showing your birds? How many? Well, 40-odd years?
I would say so.
Yep. Yep. Oh, that's great. And how did you go with this year's show season?
Well, we won one show. We've only been to two.
Yep.
We won the best Gloucester at Vic's.
Yep.
We had a couple of birds in the final at Dandenong in consort, but they didn't do any good in the final.
Yep. Look, and one thing I have noticed, okay, it's another show season. We're in the middle of this next show season, and what I've noticed that there are more Glossers on the bench and more exhibitors. Like as you may know, with Chris got into the Glossers and joined the Glosser Club of Victoria. He spotted out the YouTube channel, and it got him all excited.
Definitely.
And so what I have seen, there are a lot more Glossers on the show bench this show season.
Well, I don't know. I don't go to shows. I only hear what David says.
Yep.
But there's not as many novice, I don't think, as we should have.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of open.
Yep.
But the people are coming through from novice to open, which is good.
Yes.
But I think we need more judges in the Glossers.
Yep, I think so as well. You know, I did put my hand up to the club that I like to become a judge. Now, I mentioned it a couple of times that when it happens, if it happens, you know, yeah. So I don't know, because you know, as time goes on, you know, some of the old time members are starting to push on a bit, and they can't judge anymore. So we sort of need some people to put their hand up, some members in the club, and take the correct steps to becoming a judge.
But they've got to be trained correctly. When I went through, we used to have it once a fortnight.
Yep.
And then I didn't get through the first round.
Yep.
I had to go back and learn a bit more,
Yep.
and I got through. But that doesn't happen. They don't talk about enough things at the Glosser Club relating to Gloucesters.
Yep.
When I used to go and all the older people were still around, which have passed on now,
Yep.
we used to take birds and we used to pair them up, and then a judge would say, no, I'd like to put that one with that one, and we'd change them. But that doesn't happen now by reading the newsletter. So
Yep.
I don't think there's enough effort put into the birds for the novice people to learn how to pair them up and how to look after them, how to get them ready for shows. That doesn't happen if you read the newsletter. Now,
Yep.
I don't go, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yep.
But you can tell me about that because you go, you run
Yep.
it.
Well, pretty much in the newsletter, we do put a lot of handy tips. You know, like through the molting season or preparing your birds for the breeding season. There have been a few handy tips. We also put about, talk about egg bound and things like that. But we try to cover it the best way we can. That's why I put out this YouTube channel also, not just to boost up the hobby, but also to help educate, especially more the beginners that are starting out. Look, you may not want to show birds. You just like to have a few nice pairs and just enjoy them in an aviary or whatever. But, you got to have some knowledge to take care of the birds as well and make sure the birds get the proper nutrition they need.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's how I found you.
Yep. That's good, mate.
You're on the
Yep.
YouTube there.
Yep.
And I jumped from the newsletter to your videos.
Yep.
Now,
And I use both.
Yep.
so
That's right.
Jump in, Maurie.
now at a meeting,
Yes.
the three clubs, are they involved on the same meeting day?
Well, the three clubs, if you're talking the 5 Club and the Lizard Club, we have it on the same day. But what we do is we do, like, each club has their individual meeting. So we might do the Gloucester Club first. Once we've done our bit, then the president of the next 2 clubs jumps in and they talk about their 5s or their lizards.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Now, how often at the meetings do you talk about pairing birds up and take birds that you're going to pair up to the show, to the meeting, and let people have a look? And if people want to change them, do you let them change them around?
See, look, I've been with the Gloucester Club for about 4 years now, so I'm sure a lot has changed from,
when
10 years ago, or back in your day, Maurie. But look, the members at the club, they're a great bunch of guys. I'm only learning as I go. I don't know what happened prior to when I joined the club. You just hear some stories, like Maurie's shared some stories with us. I haven't seen people bring birds to discuss with other members about pairing birds. We pretty much just do our own thing these days. But we do have the topics. There's always a topic comes up about how's everyone going in their breeding season, and we'll talk the ups and the downs. Some breeders have quite a great success, with good numbers and decent quality, where others, why aren't my birds breeding? Or I've had a lot of disasters, like, dead in shell, or chicks dying in the nest, and things like that. So, or even black spot, that's another thing. So, yeah.
At the end of the breeding season, do you have a meeting where people say they had a good year or a bad year, and then people say, well, what happened and how can you do this? We can change it this way. Do you have that meeting?
Yes, we do. We always bring up these sort of things. Pretty much like throughout the breeding season, every time we're at the Gloucester Club of Victoria meeting, it's once a month, we always tend to bring up how's everyone doing with their birds. And so you get all sorts of different response. I'm doing great. The numbers are flying. The quality, the birds are looking good, and others didn't have a great season at all. So
now, the ones that have a bad season, do people try to tell them how they're going wrong?
Look, I can jump in there if you want.
Go on, Chris.
Maurie, I had a very bad season, and being a novice, this was my first season, and I had Althea on call.
Yep.
So, being the president of the club as well helped, gave me a bit of confidence.
Yep.
And he ran me through a few things I was doing wrong, and he put me on the right track. And from having empty eggs most of the whole season, after I spoke to him, I had 3 full nests.
And what did you do different when you spoke to Alfio?
Just the food, the feeding. I wasn't giving enough protein, not enough greens, and a few supplements that he put me onto.
All right.
Look, some people might, just like when they're starting out, they might just get just some canary seed and throw a bit of green occasionally. But sometimes they might breed. But if you want a better chance, and you've got to understand also, when a hen is popping out eggs and trying to raise young, you want them in the best condition. Look, just like an athlete, they need to have the right nutrition, the right everything, to have a better result, and it's also a health thing for the birds. So that's what I say. You can't just say, all right, it's becoming a spring, let's just pair up our birds and hope for the best. I've got an 8-week preparation before the breeding season, so we can go through that another time, but I have spoken about that through my previous episodes.
Yeah, well, I take 10 weeks to prepare them.
Yep.
I give them medicine first,
Yep.
and then I pair them. But I don't put the hen birds with the cock birds till I reckon the hen bird's ready.
Yes.
I check the hen bird regularly, and when you look at it first, when say 6-8 weeks into the preparation, its vent looks like a grape with a stalk on.
Yes.
And when it's ready to breed, the vent will look like a nice round red grape.
Yep.
And that's when I introduce the cockbird.
Okay.
And that served me all through my breeding time.
Yeah.
So do you put like a see-through divider before you put the cockbird in, or
No.
you just chuck the cockbird straight in?
I had the hens on their own for probably a week and a half.
Yep.
And during that week and a half, I'm checking them every 2 to 3 days. And if
Yep.
a hen I think is ready, I then give her a nest, and if she starts playing around, I put the cockbird. Prior to that, I've got all the pairs on paper.
Yep.
Which ones are going to who, and the cockbirds are still in the flight.
Yep.
I get the hen birds out probably 2 weeks prior, trim their vents, trim their beak if it needs, and trim their toenails, and then put them in a breeding box on their own.
Yep.
And then check them every couple of days to see if they're coming into condition.
Yep.
When I think they're in condition with the vent, the cockbird goes in.
Okay. So what you're saying about when you preparing your birds, you give some type of medication for your birds. So what do you medicate your birds with?
Doxycycline for 14 days.
Yep.
And Carlox for 6 days.
Okay. Interesting.
And all the birds, whatever bird's in this shed, gets it.
Yep. That's great. So Chris, what do you think with yourself, mate? What would you try? What would you do something this upcoming breeding season?
I would start off my birds a little bit earlier.
Yep.
As Maurie said.
Yep.
I was doing maybe an 8-week pre-start.
Yep.
I might try a 10-week.
Yep.
Or maybe even 12-week. And try and get them into condition a little bit earlier. And then holding off and not giving enough protein.
Yep.
A bit more egg food. Maybe a bit more soak seed.
Well, when I start, I give them sprouted seed on its own for 1 day, 1 week, next week 2 days, then 3 days. And then when they get in at 3 days, I introduce a bit of soft food. No egg, just soft food on its own. And then when they've been getting that for 3 weeks, I then put egg in the soft food, and they get it every day. Not a large amount, just a small amount.
Yep.
And most birds at that stage are still in the flight.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. Well, I've found out, like through my last breeding season, a mistake that I've done, which I did pick up on it. When the chicks were just a few days old in the nest, I was putting a bit of boiled egg on its own, and what I realised was a couple of clutches, the crop was over full, right, and they suffocated and they died in the nest. So what I did instead was I waited till the chicks were at least about a week old, bit over a week, and if I was to introduce or to put in just some boiled egg on its own, I'll put it in when the chicks are a bit older. But another thing as well, you just put in a small amount, so it could be a quarter of an egg. That's what worked for me.
Fine, I don't do that.
Yep.
I use a commercial soft food brand because it's too hard to go to a supermarket and buy small amounts.
Yep.
Because I like to have about 40 kilos on hand in case I run out. I don't like changing the brand at midway.
Yep.
And my preparation starts the night before. I mix up a cup of couscous with honey and margarine and a little bit of water. And I get out a handful of frozen baby peas, leave it on the bench.
Yep.
And I use that the next morning. The next morning I put the couscous in the mixer, the peas which are defrosted, I grate carrot, and I put some extra more seed in, and I blend that up, and then I put in my soft food. And plus 1 or 2 eggs, depending on the season.
Yep.
I hard boil 6 eggs at a time, and I use 1 or 2, but mainly 2 last year. And
Okay.
that's what I do all the year when I'm breeding.
So that's interesting. So, like I've said at many other episodes, that everyone's got their own sort of method, and it's quite interesting when you do these home visits how you share ideas and you learn something new. So, like I've been breeding Gloucesters for more than 10 years, but like I've said in the past, I've taken the Glossers serious in the last 4 years where I've joined the club and got club rings and putting birds on the bench. But it is great, and I'm still learning. You could be doing it for many years, and you're still always learning.
Well, I'm at the start of it.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah.
I still get ideas from different people too.
Yep.
And I've been doing it for years.
yep,
And I think the best thing is to come to see the originals in all
yeah,
this.
yep.
The old timers. I've learned so
100%.
much today that I haven't heard of before.
Well,
That's
yeah.
good.
I'll tell you what. I come and visit Maurie, once a year or so. Get a couple pairs of birds and leaves because I can't help myself. I'm like a kid in the candy store, and I get excited. So Chris and I were here today, not also to spend some time with a legend like Maurie Hunt, but also to just admire his birds. But we always bring some empty cages just in case. So I had a plan of maybe getting a pair of birds, but it didn't work out that way. I just got too excited, and Chris just went nuts.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, your birds are always, your Glossers are always good quality birds. Last year they were good quality, but this time around I'm standing back and I'm like, geez, these are to another level again. So, Maurie, I've got to take my hat off to you, mate. If I was wearing one, you're doing a fantastic job with your birds, and of course David Daff as well.
Thank you.
And that, So I can see here that Maurie's got other variety of birds, but I know that the heart of the bird room and the birds that he shows are the Glossers. So, Maurie, tell us what else, mate. What sort of other canaries you have?
Well, there's Border Fancy and there's Yorkshires. The reason the Border Fancies and Yorkshires are in here is they're the birds when I first started many years ago.
Yep.
And then I went into red birds.
Yep.
And I had 5. And then I went to Birdland when it was in Dandenong.
Yep.
And I met a gentleman called... can't think of his name now. Anyhow, it'll come back to me. And Eric Jackson.
Okay.
And he was in Glossers. And he said, you want to go in the Glossers? I said, no, I don't know anything about them. He said, I'll give you a couple. So he gave me a couple of pair of Glossers. And that's where it started. Then I met David Daff.
Yep.
And we went in a partnership. And that's where it's gone. So we only show Glossers because I don't get around to go to shows.
Yep.
And it's too hard to ask David to take Borders or Yorkshires and Glossers.
Yeah.
So we only take Glossers.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So in a moment, we're just going to go and take a look at some of Maurie's birds, and that's it. So yeah, we'll be right back in a second. All right, guys, that's all we have time for on this episode. Maurie, a big thank you, mate, for your time, your lovely birds, and it was great chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd
awesome,
like to say thanks also, Maurie. I appreciate everything you've done for me, all the information you've given me, and the access to your birds and David's birds. Thank you very much.
Oh.
I really appreciate.
If you need any help during the year, don't be frightened to ring.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about, you know, helping the new starters, you know, give them some guidance, some help, you know, and that's very great to see. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do share, like, and subscribe. The channel has hit a milestone with 870 subscribers. So that is great. Now, like I said in episode 8, that the channel is flicking over to the Australian Canary channel, and we'll occasionally do some home visits like we've just done today. All right, guys, till next time, have a good one. That's awesome. Isabel, we say have a good one, we do this. Right? We'll practice this. So I say, all right, guys, have a good one, and we all do this. So do that, Maurie, all three of us. Yeah, that's gold.